What is up, guys? It's Marcus from Meanwhile, and today I'll be taking a look at the magic of Steven Spielberg's Hook. I chose this film as it holds a special place in my heart, as it does for many others, and as I grow older, this film becomes ever more relevant to my life. I'll be judging this film on its core messages and seeing why this is the cult classic it is. Let's look at the magic of Hook. Released in 1991, Spielberg's vision of a grown-up Peter Pan was panned by critics, but was still considered a box office success and has become a cult classic amongst fans for its enduring take on John M. Barry's Peter Pan. Hook tells the tale of a workaholic Peter Banning, aka a grown-up Peter Pan, who has forgotten who he once was as Hook kidnaps his children. He's given 3 days to get back into fighting shape for the war that Hook has been waiting for his whole life. Now, this film is larger than life, from its colorful sets, glorious score provided by John Williams, the legend Robin Williams himself playing the lead role of Peter Banning, Peter Pan, and in my opinion, the definitive portrayal of Hook from Dustin Hoffman, accompanied by Julia Roberts as Tinkerbell and Bob Hoskins as the lovable Shmi and Dame Maggie Smith as Granny Wendy. Let me start out by saying, yes, there are flaws with this film. Spielberg himself sees this film as a letdown and has gone on record to say that he was limited by the technology of the time and couldn't truly let his imagination run free. But I disagree, because Neverland feels like a full world brought to life with the larger-than-life set pieces from the Lost Boys treehouse and Pirate Cove being full of character and rich detail, with characters to fill the sets with life and feeling. Yes, Julia Roberts isn't amazing as Tinkerbell. She's probably the weakest point of the film for me, but she's still important and still relevant to the Pan storyline and lore. She is the one who reminds Peter of who he truly is, and that has to count for something. But look, there is so much about this film that is truly magical. Who better to play the definitive child Peter Pan than the one and only Robin Williams? He steals the show and really was born for the part. And every time I see this film, it's bittersweet seeing him on screen because he was the voice of my childhood. From his initial interactions with the Lost Boys and their leader Rufio, who I genuinely wanted to be when I was younger, to when he gains their trust and becomes the Pan, he learns to fly, and he crows again, and he's bangarang. But look, every hero needs their villain, and as I said earlier, who is the more definitive portrayal of Hook than Dustin Hoffman's? Hoffman goes all out, from the character's mannerisms, his costume, his look, his fake teeth, his charm, and his fiendish attempts to lure Pan back for the war he's been waiting for. I would feel bad if I also didn't mention the lovable Shmi. What would Hook be without his Shmi? After all, he is the one who has the apostrophes. But why is this film so endearingly magical, you ask? Because of its enduring message that speaks to men, women, and children of all ages. Never grow up. Let your imagination run free and crow. In a world dominated by work culture and busy lifestyles, this film speaks to me and others because it shows the magic of one's imagination. When we see Peter finally use his imagination at the Lost Boys dinner, finally embracing his inner child, it's a heartwarming moment And really the magic begins for him. It's reignited. Finally seeing him truly enjoy himself for the first time in the film, when we learn that his happy thought is his son Jack being born and him learning to fly again, it shows that Peter isn't regressing back into a child, but he's embracing his imagination as an adult and running free. And I think that's important, because this film isn't saying regress back into being a child and ignore being an adult. It's saying enjoy life, embrace your happy thoughts, embrace the inner you. The Lost Boys teach Peter valuable lessons, and I feel as adults, we are more likely to ignore the words of children because we think they don't know what they're saying. But in reality, they see things differently through the use of their imagination and understanding of the world. Tapping into that and playing along with Peter gives him a fresh perspective and realizes he never pays attention to his son Jack, which is what is important to him in life. At the beginning of the film, we also see that Peter tells his son Jack that he needs to grow up, and his wife Moira is constantly reminding him that he's missing their childhood. And for what? This film tells us to hold on to what really matters, because at the end of the day, family and friendships are what matter, not slaving away at your job and being an adult. Don't become a pirate. Granny Wendy, after finally seeing Peter after 10 years, realizes that Peter himself has truly grown up, forgotten who he once was, and even calls him a pirate. And I've always related to this line because it's the equivalent of someone saying, "Oh, you're all grown up," or "Oh, you're such an adult." Why is this considered a good thing when it basically means you've lost touch with your inner child, your imagination? The symbolism of the nursery window can't be missed in this film either, because to me it's the doorway, at least the figurative doorway, to our imaginations. Peter insists at the beginning of the film to always keep it closed, and by the end, when he's Pan again, he realizes that he needs to always keep it open. Because why would we want to shut out our imagination, the adventures that they represent? We spend our lives so focused on working and moving forward when sometimes we need to look back at who we once were and get in touch with our inner Peter Pan, our inner child. So, in conclusion, Hook is and always will be a magical experience to me. And as I grow older, the more magical it will continue to be. Bangarang, Peter. Bangarang. Well, thank you so much for listening. And as always, I've been Marcus from Meanwhile. If you like this video, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and all of that good stuff. The normal links will be in the description below to our Instagram and our podcast on Spotify, etc. See you next time.